All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. All right, y'all, so I know many of y'all already seen it now, already posted it up as well. You know, you already seen Amanda Nunes put her little IG post up, her little cringy type of dance that she was doing, right? Where she was asking Dana White to call her, right? And, you know, this was right after the fight with Julianna Pena and Rocky Pennington. And, yeah, she's putting it out there now that she's throwing little hints out that she's asking for Dana to call her, or, you know, whatever the situation is, she's going to call him. But you know what it is. You know what that means. Dana White, he addressed it. You know, he responded to it whenever somebody asked him at the Contender Series. And he basically said that, you know, it's good to see that she's still staying in shape, and he would love to see her come back. But as far as even like a fight with Kayla Harrison at this point, he said, you know, it would take a while. You know, the situation would take a while, and it would have to be talked about what weight it would be at, you know. So yeah, my thoughts on the whole situation as far as you know, Amanda Nunes coming back right now. I knew this would happen to a certain extent. Like every time like something happens big in the bantamweight division, as far as, you know, a title fight, you know, Amanda will post something. Now, is she coming back right away? I don't know. You know, it could probably be another year or so before she would come back. Would she be able to come right back for the championship fight? Would she take on a tune-up fight? Those are all the questions we have to ask. Would it be at 135? You know, so right now I think, you know, with Amanda Nunes getting back into the mix, yeah, I think it's a high possibility. But it has to be for the right dollar amount and for the right opponent, which brings me to Julianna Pena calling out calling out Amanda Nunes. Would it be for a third fight with Julianna Pena? I would probably say I'd probably lean more towards no at this point, you know, for two reasons. You know, for number one, she already beat Julianna Pena in the second fight convincingly, right? Even though they are 1-1, you know, she did it in dominant fashion. I mean, she was in a dog fight with Julianna Pena, but she won every single round, right? And she probably feels like that's all I needed to do to get my belt back, you know, to become a two-time champion. I don't have to prove anything against her anymore, right? And number two, I think she wouldn't really want to do a third fight with Julianna Pena just to get under her skin. You know, Amanda Nunes, she knows how to like psychologically get to these fighters, you know, like same way, you know, Valentina had a close fight in the rematch, and there was a point where, you know, Valentina wanted the third fight, right? And she didn't get it, you know, so she knows how to kind of work that. And then Chris Cyborg, you know, Chris Cyborg got knocked out in the first round by Amanda Nunes. And, you know, ever since then, Chris Cyborg been saying she want a rematch, somehow get this rematch going with Dana White or whatever. But Amanda just completely ignores it, right? So I think the same situation here. You know, every time Amanda ends on the high note and, you know, puts herself in a situation where she beats somebody, like for Valentina, those are close fights, but still she's 2-0. Julianna Pena, she got the belt back from her. They're 1-1. Fine. You know, she did it, she did it in a fashion where she outclassed her, knocked her down 5 times, right? And at the same time, it really agitates Julianna Pena. Chris Cyborg knocked her out in 1 round, no questions asked. That's probably the most convincing win out of all of them, right? So she's not really going to give them that satisfaction. So coming back for a fight with Julianna Pena, I don't really see that. Now, when it comes down to Kayla Harrison, honestly, that probably would be the fight. That probably would be the fight. And now, how I feel about that, my personal opinion, I don't think it's really worth coming back for. But as far as history goes between these two, and, you know, Kayla Harrison bringing like a new type of energy to the division, and her being like the new hype fighter in the division, I think that would be the one that would make the most sense for it, you know. And I think that's the one Dana White would actually target. Like, Dana White didn't even really bring up like a third fight with Nunes and Pena. You know, he acknowledged that more whenever, you know, they mentioned the comeback for it. You know, he didn't say anything like, oh yeah, I would love to see, you know, her and Pena, you know, break this tie or whatever. You know, I didn't hear anything like that from him. You know, it was more so somebody asked about Kayla. That's why he acknowledged that. But I didn't even really hear him talk about that. So I think it would have to be the Kayla fight, just because, yeah, there's a little backstory there. You know, Kayla getting beat in the gym and so on. So, yeah, I definitely think that would be the one for her. Now, in my opinion, I don't really think it it would be a fight that she should come back for. Not like because of high risk, because I still think Amanda has enough to beat somebody like Kayla Harrison. As far as skills, experience, power, just all around covered. Everything is covered. Now, the only thing that can save Kayla, of course, is her speed and her strength and getting in there at the right time. But again, like Dana brought up, it would have to be discussed what weight at, because right now, Kayla's, not really, it seems like she's not really feeling the best at 135, right? This last performance, yeah, she made weight. She looked good. She didn't gas out, but there's still some questions. Maybe, her gas tank was bothering her. She talked about peeing blood or something like that, before the fight. So whatever she's doing, as far as cutting weight, she's probably doing her best to do it the right way, but still, that's a lot of weight to cut for a woman that walks around probably 170, 180. I'm being real. Like, look at all that muscle on her, right? Like, maybe 160, 165, but still, that's a lot of weight that she's having to cut. So cutting like 30, 60 pounds, 30, 40 pounds, before a fight, and that's just not her natural weight, it's going to kill her, it's going to kill her at some point. So I think that Dana probably has those plans, like to make some type of super fight at featherweight. But even then, it's like, what sense would it make at featherweight, right? I think even Amanda would try to get down to 135, right? I think she would try to get down at that point. But her coming back after like a 2-year layoff, let's be real, she comes back 2025, 2026. She's going to need that time to get down to 135 herself. Amanda's a big girl. Yeah, she walks around at a heavyweight sometimes. During the featherweight days, it was like 160, 170, blowing up to 165 or something like that in the cage, So I don't really think that she can jump right back in the mix, next year at bantamweight, and would it be for a title fight if she comes right back? I'm sure it would. But again, like I said, it has to make sense. That's why until then, Julianna Pena's got to face the inevitable. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm saying she needed to go ahead and promote the next fight here and not call out Amanda. Or if you did say I want that Amanda fight at some point, you still had to acknowledge Kayla, because that's probably going to be the next fight. I think when it comes down to it, Amanda Nunes is targeting the winner of this fight to possibly become a 3-time champion at bantamweight, right? She's going to target the Pena Harrison winner. I don't think she's going to come back for like 2-3 fights and work her way up or anything like that, jump in here and fight, another title eliminated. No, she's going to come back for that title fight. If she was to stick around, it might be for one title defense. But at that, I think she's going to wait for Pena Harrison, and she's probably under the impression that, hey, Harrison's going to be big and too strong for Pena. So she's going to let Harrison go ahead and get her up out the way. And then once again, she's going to do something to really agitate Pena and just screw her over mentally by coming back to fight Kayla Harrison, to beat Kayla Harrison, and then have that belt and then ride off in the sunset and not give Pena another shot. So I think it's going to be like a lot of mental chess here, a lot of mind games from Amanda Nunes, especially with Julianna Pena being champion right now. And when Kayla Harrison gets in there, I think that if Kayla Harrison does win that fight, Amanda will entertain that and try to come back at some point. Maybe late next year. I mean, looking at her body right now, I don't know, man. She could come back in the summer. Now, for a title fight, maybe. I mean, she looks refreshed, and as far as her body looks, she looks good. I mean, she looks solid in the abs, and her arms look solid. She was up in her little gym, up in the little tough uniform, getting some training in, and maybe that was just like part of her workout routine. And she said, hey, she's probably been training low key. During this whole bantamweight tournament, little fiasco going on, just so she could get to a point and say, Dana, look at my shape. I'm ready. So she probably was looking at what was going on, and as soon as Julianna Pena won, she was like, all right, I'm gonna put this video up, let them know that I have been working low key and training. So that is kind of funny though, that Amanda looked in that good of a shape right now. She looks solid. So that kind of tells us that she probably was eyeing the winner of this fight and getting her body to a certain point just in case that she might come back. And I think she would come back. Like I said, I think it'd be more for money. But at this point, with her reaching out to Dana too, I think it would have to make a lot of sense. And to her, I think Harrison would make a lot of sense just to piss off Julianna Pena and to go ahead and shut Kayla Harrison up and, just go ahead and stamp her legacy again once more. But yeah, guys, that's all I got on this one. What do y'all think? We'll talk a little bit more about it tonight when I get on the live podcast. But what do y'all think in the comment section? Does Amanda come back? Me personally, I really wouldn't want her to come back, but if she does, I think it would have to make sense, against just that winner of that Pena Harrison fight, and that be it. Then get that money, get that belt, become a 3-time champion, or 3-time bantamweight champion, and then ride off in the sunset and go from there. But guys, what do y'all think? Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe. WMMA Talk. I'm out. Peace.